Alright, hey guys. Tonight we're going to be working on some sprite sheet stuff, and it's going to be interesting. I think I got some playlist stuff done the middle of this week between last stream and this one, so there's like a playlist object where you can add sounds and you can kind of loop it like a playlist, and so it can be like for music. I want to add like a random play aspect to it, so so that if I wanted to, like, you can kind of imagine where you kind of have like a set of sounds that you would want to happen like randomly at a certain event. Like if your player took damage or something, you might want to select from a random. You might want to randomly select from a set of sounds where like player damage. Like you might have 3 or 4 different ideas of what that would sound like, and so you can randomly play one of them anytime that happens. So that was the idea for that. But tonight we're gonna do some sprite sheet stuff, and I forgot to get Krita going. I was going to try something out. I wanted to try to draw something out. So alright, cool. Let me get in drawing mode real quick. Oh, why did you make my eraser go away? I had such a cool eraser going on. Where are my settings? Settings. Or no, I need to like go into the brushes, that's right. Yeah, this guy, I like him. What are you doing here? I don't want like any of these. There we go. Cool. Okay, so now that I'm back, so I wanted to do something like kind of like batch rendering. So there's a couple of things in the game engine right now. There's the textured quad. You'll have to excuse my already poor handwriting. Not really helping me out on this drawing pad. Does that look a little bit better? Yeah. So I've got a textured quad, right? And this has all of my OpenGL things, like the VAO, the VBO, the element buffer, and it also has a texture ID, which is sort of like a pointer to like the texture buffer, like the buffer gets loaded into OpenGL. So this is kind of important for what I'm about to talk about. So then we have a sprite sheet, which inherits from the textured quad. And this has, obviously, like we've seen, some more functions with like being able to select, kind of being able to map UV coordinates to specific parts of the texture, so we can get like a sub image. But I wanted to have sort of like just have like sprites. So I want to be able to take a sprite. That's just bad. I want to be able to take a sprite from a sprite sheet at a specific UV coordinate, right? So if we kind of imagine, can I get some more stuff? Thank you. If we kind of imagine, right, our image, and it's got like some, we can kind of imagine, we have like an imaginary grid, right? And so we have all these images in here, but I want to take a sprite that comes in here. That can be like sprite A, and we can have like sprite B, right? So I want to bind to a single texture ID. So I want this to be all just one texture that we bind to a single time. And we have like we just have like one VAO, one VBO, one EBO, right? All in this one sprite sheet. And then we have a sprite that maintains some sort of like transform state. Right, and so you know, like scale, rotation, location, all these good things. And then we would just call like some render thing right here, right? So we're not actually, we're not only keeping a transform state, but we're keeping like the UV coordinates, right, of where we want to be, or at least like the location on the grid, because I guess the sprite doesn't really have to know about the UV coordinates specifically. It just needs to know like where on the grid it is. And so then it would kind of take all of this, right, and it would like package it up. It's bad. So it'd take all of this, it would package it up and send it to the sprite sheet, which would in turn kind of like, it would kind of need to like keep its state, I suppose, so it could like push its own state. Right? It would receive the sprite state and kind of allow itself to be mutated by the sprite and then render itself and then it would pop its own state. And so so what we can do here is this is kind of the new behavior that I want. But the thing is I want, so I don't necessarily want the sprite to inherit from sprite sheet necessarily. I want it to be its own thing. So this is kind of like the first thing I want to do. So this is kind of like our first problem. So can I get like one of these? This is our first problem, which isn't really a problem. It's just a solution that I want to create. The next thing that we have is we have an issue where I want this to actually inherit from some sort of quad, right? So we have, or like the textured quad, really, because which isn't that different from the quad. But the problem is that these are too specific. So I want to be able to keep the things that the quad has, like an easy translate function. Right, because hidden, and I can show this in the code, hidden within this quad is a mesh, which really just contains kind of a set of points and like color values. And this is very like, this is like as close to OpenGL as we're getting. This is as close to the rendering API as we're getting. And in order to like translate the mesh, in order to like rotate the mesh and do all this crazy stuff, and you know, and whatever else, we either have to directly interact with the like position buffer and then keep like calling OpenGL, or modify the transform matrix or something like this. And we don't want to have to do that like every time. So the quad is kind of this generic like rectangular mesh basically that interfaces with, you know, translate or rotate or I mean, is there anything else? That's kind of it. But like actually let me go look. What does the quad do? Translate, rotate, set position, angle, set color, set center. I have some intersecting code here because it's rectangular, you know, things of that nature. So I guess I can do like set color, intersects, all of these things. I don't want to have to rewrite this every time. And unfortunately, quad is a little bit too specific. So these are actually kind of some interesting things here. So we kind of want to keep like this and that one. We need to move that around a little bit, but we kind of want to keep these and then like not actually have the mesh, because maybe we want translate and set position, all this stuff, to not specifically have a mesh and maybe have something a little bit different. So where I thought that quad was fine, it's actually a little bit too specific. So our second problem is actually just, So our second problem, which is actually more of a problem, is, you know, we have to kind of abstract this just a little bit more, because I want the sprite to kind of inherit all of these things, but then not like have to have a mesh of its own. And when I call render, I don't want that to have to render the mesh. I want that render to do something else. I want to send to the parent sprite sheet that it needs to change its state, render, go back, you know, as we have detailed right here. So these are kind of the things that I want to do. And I guess I kind of have to do this out of order. So I kind of have to do this one first. And then when that's done, I can come in here and kind of accomplish all of this mess over here. So firstly, I have to abstract, and I'm going to start moving some of this stuff back. So I'm going to have to abstract this class here. So we can go ahead and try to find a good way of doing that. It's a lot of talking. All right. Oh, and pardon me for my allergies. They're bad today. The window's open all day. I should open my window now, actually. It's probably nice enough outside that I can do that. All right. Make sure the lighting didn't change too drastically. All right, cool. So we kind of need to rip this out, and really, because the mesh is the one that has the, yes, you can. The mesh is the one with the model. Yeah. Okay, so this is the transform matrix. That should be renamed But okay. So so this really should be like this really is just kind of an interface. So in place of this, I want to have like basic quad or something like that. Which I'm going to go ahead and do. Right, and so quad needs to kind of, I'm going to need to keep all of that somewhere. But first we can have like these basic things. And then we can have all, so instead of having, I already explained this. Instead of having the mesh, I just want to have kind of just an interface. You know, some might call this an iQuad, but that sounds like iPod, so I will not be doing that. But I kind of need to virtual like all of these then, right? Because these need to be, some of these don't really need to change. Like, what does translate? Like, what does set position like really do? Okay, so this does actually directly call the mesh set position. So some of these don't need to be like purely virtual. Like intersect really doesn't actually need to be virtual at all, because that just takes from like position and stuff. Right, so how many of these really need to be virtual? Like, these are easy because these are just messing with like position, right? I don't think size actually does anything right now. But the problem is that this set position here is like trying to interface with this thing right here. So I need to kind of get rid of that behavior. I'll just go through like an old commit or something and look through this, and if I need to, I'll just rip this apart for now. So we no longer want that. We no longer want that. Right, and that's virtual. This needs to be virtual, I think. Right? Is that bad? Am I allowed to do that? No, I can't. All right. So that's good. So, okay, why call set position directly in there? We don't need to do that. Actually, no, we'll do that. Set positions should be, okay, we don't actually need that there. Okay, so set position should be purely virtual. That should be purely virtual. Right, so let's get rid of these. So just in case there is some sort of mesh or whatever that we actually, if there's something else that we're interfacing with that needs to know about that position change, that's where set position comes in, and translate should just like have that there. Rotate should be like a similar story, where this should call like set rotation or set angle, I guess. That needs to be set rotation. I need to change that. Right, and so set rotation is going to be purely virtual. Set color, we have a color, we don't need. Oh, well, that's kind of a bummer though. These don't actually need to be purely virtual, because we can just override them. So let's undo some of that. Okay. Yeah, those should just be things to override. Similarly to set color. Set center does math. These don't need to be virtual. Those can stay. This needs to be virtual. And does it need, it can be purely virtual. So we can just get rid of that altogether. And then these are good accessors. We can leave these. What is it mad about? I don't care. All we know is we want an X, a Y with the height. Color is nice. I don't know if that's something that like a quad needs, but I'll leave it for now. Okay, good. This should build, actually. Right? Oh, and then we're gonna have to freaking care about the textured quad. Actually, now it doesn't have to be complicated. And you don't know what that means, but I will tell you. Okay, I'm actually quite happy about that. So the basic quad will inherit from the normal quad. Right, so now this is kind of an interface. Not exactly, but a little bit. Oh my gosh. I don't know why Sea Lion doesn't let you just like have like a namespace, like a project namespace. It's something that I would very much like. Anyways, so this inherits from here. We will be overriding some of these. Like these. We a little bit care about these. Actually, we care about more of them. I care about those. Right, so we have this. We want our mesh to be here. Right, we care about that. We also want our constructor, which is going to take the same stuff. We want a destructor as well. And we need to move this stuff. I forgot there's like some weird... Dude, this is making my arm sweat. I can't really deal with having that on right now. Alright. This has like some weird geometry as well because of the centeredness of the rotation that I wanted. So we'll see about that. We'll see about that. I feel like I'm going to introduce so many problems. Okay, is this mad because I should be doing override? It's going to tell me I don't need virtual, right? Okay. So the way that it worked before, I guess, while I'm kind of clearing some of these things out, is the textured quad inherited from the normal quad, which had a mesh, right? And now it has, and the textured quad would have a textured mesh, which inherits from the mesh. And I would have to do like casting all over the place to get it to recognize that it needed to be referenced as a textured mesh pointer and not a mesh pointer. That should not be a problem anymore. Because while I could inherit from this again and just kind of leave it, I could also just have the textured quad inherit from this quad and then just, again, kind of like copy a lot of the stuff over. Since I'm not copying the whole thing, I'm just copying like some of the stuff. Right, so I can just get all this stuff right here. Good. I care about some things. Right, let's go to here. Okay. So I need like some of this stuff. Right, I kind of need that. Do that for now. Right, really this should not... I don't think it really needs any of this. I'm just going to comment this out for now. Let's go back and get it. I don't really need any of that. It just kind of sets it here. And that works out. What did I just not take? Right. Oh, perfect. It put all that in there for me. All right. Set position. Set position. Set rotation. Angle. Okay. Mesh set position. Right, which I need a couple of times. Set rotation. Alright, mesh set color to the color, which I need a few more times here. Then I need to remember to delete the mesh here. Do not invoke virtual member functions from constructor. I wonder why that is. Hello, Mr. Git. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm curious about that. I'm sure that has something to do with the vtable. But I'm interested. If you do these calls, we'll never go to a more derived class than the currently executing constructor or destructor. That's okay. I don't think that will actually be a problem. I hope. So this looks fine. Somebody's excited outside. You know, let me see. I'm gonna have to fix the textured quad before I can build this, though, because it's gonna be mad at me. Right, let's do that. Let's just get it over with. Right, we actually have a textured mesh here. We don't have to constantly cast it. We can just the state here. But we do have to, oops. Does this let me do like the does this let me take everything I want? Probably not. Let me get quad back. We want these. Right, we gotta get rid of, is there not like a, there's not like a multi-cursor thing. Let me do this in here. So then I can just, ooh, nope. Let's do that. All right. Override's not as easy, so let's do that in here. And this is going to be like exactly the same as before. Right, so we kind of have to come in here and do that. I'm going to keep this. It's all good. Actually, we're going to need to copy this from here. We just need to make sure that the mesh is a textured mesh and that we are passing it the path that we have been given. So we make sure that we do set position. Right, and then this needs to kind of, since I have mesh, set position. It's the same thing. Set rotation. And set color. Oops. All right, cool. We actually can just do this. Oops. Wonder what is the what's the delete line? Control Y, huh? Control Y. All right. How's the build go? Excellent. Where? I'm having a hard time reading that from there. Give me a second. Invalid new expression of abstract class type. That's not an abstract class type. Just make sure nobody's dying or anything. Let me Or no, it's display. Right, and it's mad at me for 267. Unimplemented pure method. Oh, I didn't ever do render. See, this is fine. Wait, no, I need to put it in here, don't I? Void render matrix for F screen override. Hello. All right, we need to do the same thing over here. Nope, that's the one we don't want to do it to. All the way down here. Render at the screen. All right, now perhaps. Oh, come on. What is happening in the... Well, scenes are dumb. Yeah, all right. Yep, okay. Scenes are so... I have never even actually used a scene. I thought the scenes were cool, and they're not. Where is that? Gotta make that a pointer. Alright, let's do that. Push back the thing. Do we like it now? Hey! Awesome. Cool. Alright, well, let's see if our current game actually works then. I don't have... Let me just make sure this is working. Here, where's my sprite sheet? I don't want that anymore. Let's go 100. Hundos all the way around. Let's get the coyote in here. That's it. Alright, let's see what we got. Okay. Oh, set angle. That'll do it. Oh, and I've got all this garbage. Let's set rotation now. None of this works at the moment. Did I miss anything? No, I did not. Come on. Yes, dude. Oh, it does. Ah, see? I knew it. It starts not at the right place. Okay. Okay. Oh, because now I gotta care. And I hate caring. All right, let me get some of this stuff out of the way. I get too stressed out when I've got all these tabs open. Okay. So, let me explain to you a little bit. You know what? Let's go back to Krita. Let's go back to Krita. I'm going to move things around my desk again. Let's go back to here. Let's find something. Let's make some more space. All right. So, let me tell you about the quad. If I can freaking write. Let me talk about the quad for a second. So, it has an XY, right? And it has a width and a height, which I will just denote W and H. All right, and this makes up... kind of a rectangular shape that is quite imperfectly drawn, where we have an xy, an x plus wy, an x y plus h, and an x plus w y plus h. And that's all good. And then what I wanted to do is each mesh has a, let's over here, each mesh has a transform matrix, or a mat 4, right? And so what ends up happening is that realistically, when I'm creating this quad, I'm actually going in and zeroing x and y, and then subtracting the difference from width and height, so that I end up with this being 0, 0, like every time. And then just using the transform matrix to then translate later. So then what I'll do is I'll remember this, and then I'll say, why don't you come over here, right? And so then I'll go ahead and translate based on that, right? So then these are always at, is that gonna screw up my intersect code? It might. It might just do that. Oh well, we'll see. So, okay. Right, but in order to rotate, it won't screw it up too bad, I don't think. In order for it to rotate, I wanted it to rotate like about the center here. So it doesn't actually set this to 0, 0. It sets it to like it basically sets it like here. Right? This is actually where x and y are. So that when I run my rotation code, it's rotating around here. But I basically like offset it by like half its width and height, right? Because that's kind of what this is. That's like width divided by 2. Right, and this is like height divided by 2. So it's kind of like I translate it back a little bit, so that really the x and y is like right here, but I make it look like it's over here, so that when I'm rotating, I'm rotating about this point, which does the rotation the way that I want it to. So if I go back and like run the game, actually it's probably gonna screw up now that it's broken. No, okay, it's still working. So it can rotate around the center, like right here, right? But now its x and y is off, so it thinks its x and y is here, right? Which it technically is, right? Because if we started over, because we were setting our initial position to 100, 100, but you'll notice that it looks bad. It's not actually at 100, 100, it's at 50, 50. And so that's what it's doing, is 100, 100 is like right here. And so it's following my instructions. It's putting it at 100, 100, but the renderer doesn't know to push it back to where it needs to be. So it is time to figure that out. That's probably it. That's probably all I needed. Really? That's probably all I needed. Because am I not doing that in the quad itself? I'm not doing anything in the constructor. Okay. So does that make my life easier? Is this returning the right value? It must be. It must be returning the right value. Let me do a quick thing. Let me do a quick thing in the render. Gosh, I want to. Okay, so I wrote a string library, like a header only string library. I might re-implement that into the game engine because I absolutely hate the standard C++ string. It is obnoxious. Why I can't just, like, why does it have to be like this, you know? Here, let me see if I can. I'm not logged in on incognito. Yeah, never mind. Actually, hold up. Let me just pull up another code window real quick. Let me like zoom in just a little bit. So I wrote this string like header only library in conjunction with a bunch of like other stuff that I was trying to figure out. But this has like actually useful like functions in it. There was like I wrote like a formatter basically at some point, and I don't know if I have that in here or not. I'm not, yeah, like arg. So you could like chain this arg command. So you could essentially have something like if you had a string X and it was like, I want blank today, right? What I could do is I could do like, or and blank tomorrow, because I think it starts off with like curly braces or something, right? So I could do like xarg, like cookies, arg, bacon, right? And so this is good because what I could do over here, right, is I could do like string chords equals like X, this thing, Y, this thing, and then, yeah, it's an extra line, but it looks cleaner. Or just arg, right? And this takes an integer, like it'll take an integer into the arg, right? I built that in. So it knows to replace these with like the number value and just converts it like immediately. So then I could arg, right, block X, arg block Y, and then I could render it. Right at like 540, and then I just give it this. Right. This looks cleaner to me than this garbage right here. This looks horrendous. This looks amazing. That being said, I would like to do it at some point. Again, there are like better utility functions in here. Like it actually has a starts with, ends with, which I learned is finally coming to C++ with C++20. A split, it actually splits. I think correctly too. I think it splits correctly. Yeah, it correctly splits strings. That's just there. You know, it sucks so bad. The C++ string sucks so bad. I'm done ranting about the C++ string now. Anyways, this is just obnoxious. This is going to be way longer. I know I said I was done. This is going to be way longer of a line than it would have to be with mine. Right, because now I have to do all of this, and it's just so tedious. And I hate... That's too long. That's too long. Now I have to do this. And it looks gross. I hate it. Okay, now I'm done. Now I'm done. I also need to change this to reflect what all... This needs to be consistent with all the other colors. Because I can't. Alright. Let's see what that looks like. That actually looks pretty good. Ah. Look at you. Look at you being the wrong number. Look at you being the wrong number. It's not even the right number. Because we can get it like up here and it's going to be like 50. Yeah, it's hard to see with the thing on it. Can make it black. Will it let me do that? That'd be crazy if it let me do that. It won't, yeah. Wait, did it? No, it didn't. Right, it's gonna look gross, but we can get it like really close. So it should be like 0, 0, but it's basically like 50, 50. And that's a pain. Okay. So that wasn't a fix. What if... Was that what it was before? Did I just like hurt myself? That's exactly what it was before. That's weird. Well, I thought that was... That didn't do anything. I thought that was because it inherited from something that already did all the work, but... Maybe now it's... No, it's still... Ah, come on, man. Come on. Oh, I didn't actually remove that. And I didn't freaking build it. No, because now it's not rendering right. Come on. Okay, so I'm going to have to, like, actually try. Because the problem is that if I, like, directly edit the, like, the buffer, it's gonna screw with the rotation. Alright. So, okay, what did these used to be? What did these used to be? Yeah, okay, so there's that. That's super annoying. But if that's what I need to do... Yeah, okay, there you go. So X and Y is actually correct to the model. Rotation works. Okay. So I need to do that in the quad too, because it's not going to be the same. Because I have to do it for both of them. Which is not ideal, and it's not even that. I should just call it like material quad. Alright, now it works on the quad. Perfect. Okay, that's good enough. Give me another moment. All right, cool, cool, cool. Okay. All right, well, I think that solves problem. That solves our second problem. Is that now we can now we can inherit from this thing right here. Hello, Wolf Chicago. Thank you for stopping by. Now we can just kind of inherit this thing and just kind of use it however we want. I absolutely hate that the mesh... there needs to be a better way. There needs to be a better way, and I can't probably think about that. It's hacky, so, like, it works. I need to, like... Oh, that's a note for that. I need to do something here, like, fix the mesh, like, offset. It's too hacky, and if I'm directly talking to a mesh, anytime that I inherit from this quad, I'm going to have to worry about that, and I don't like that. But it's the way that it is at the moment, and I can't really be bothered to deal with that, like, right now. So, okay. How long have I been streaming for? What has it been? Roughly an hour. Okay, second problem. Done. Okay. Let me make some commits. What do we got? Abstract. Oh, wait, no. I have to change my to-do. I actually did that. And then what was I doing? Sprite sheets, that's not actually on here. So we're gonna do like faux batch rendering, kind of. It's not really batch rendering because I'm pretty sure it does everything like in a single pass, but it's close. And I almost had this before, but I think that it'll be easier now that I did this. Like, I was working on something where I almost got it, but I didn't quite have it. And then I threw it away, I think. So, should be a little bit easier to do this now that I've abstracted the quad. But, let's go back here. Abstracted quad. Now, basic quad. Works. Going on GitHub. Cool, cool, cool. All right. Batch rendering. Here we go. We got this. My eyes hurt. My back hurts because I get all like tense when I'm coding on stream. Okay. Oh, and I so wish that I wasn't allergic to the air outside. All right. This really shouldn't, because I was wanting to do like that to do, and then like, and this doesn't even like really need to happen. I doubt I'm gonna want to have controller support, which is a wreck as it is. I need to like completely re-engineer that. Which isn't really... That's just input abstraction. Which I could do, but then I would want to like completely revamp controller input. Because it's so bad. That is like not at the top of my list. Then I need to get like a Visual Studio solution like templated out so I can actually... So I don't have to spend a ton of Ludum Dare time like putting that together and like wondering why things won't build. So I need to do that, and that's all the whole thing. And I need to make Flappy Bird, dang it, and I gotta do that next week probably. Okay. I'm gonna put this thing back on because I can feel my hand starting to go. All right. Okay, batch rendering for spreadsheets. This shouldn't be horrible, but I say that now, and it's gonna be horrible probably. So I need a sprite class now. There's so much going into this thing. Okay, and I want I want this to come from the quad. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's somebody's car alarm is going on. Hold on, let me. I think it's coming through. Awesome. Okay. So we need to have like a parent to send our state to. Right, and so we should probably do that. Okay. So we need to have a parent to like send state to. Our state is largely just in this, really. But we're also going to want to have like a, like, how does the sprite sheet handle it? Like, we're going to need to have some sort of like grid position. Yeah. So let's have that. I already, whoa. All right. I already I need a grid position. That's probably fine. Right, and I don't like actually want there to be a constructor. I would prefer the sprite. Like, holy crap, is somebody gonna get their freaking car? I would prefer the sprite sheet to have something, right? Can I possibly do that? I can't even believe this. Because I don't, I want it to come, I need it to come from this. It's completely ridiculous. All right. I need to come from the sprite sheet. Right, I need like a... I need like some of this. I need a grid position. And that's it, I think. Nice. Okay. That works. So I want like one of these right here. So I'm gonna have my private constructor so as not to expose it to the public interface. I've been watching a lot of like why object-oriented programming is bad videos. Which, you know, is really just a bad way of saying that, you know, using object-oriented programming for something you don't need it for is bad. You know, they just don't know how to say that exactly, so that's bad to start there. Let's just take that right there. Are you freaking serious, dude? Somebody's car is probably like actually being stolen. It should not be going off like again. Oh my gosh. All right. What? Can I do that? Is that not a good idea? Well, don't do that. Just make it private. Let's see. And then we just gotta kind of like take. Well, we're not like interfacing with anything, so we really don't even need to take any of these. It just kind of interacts with like the position and stuff. So we don't actually even need to do anything else. This just kind of exists. And then we're just sending state to the sprite sheet. So we do need to take render. But at the moment, that's pretty much it. We're going to have to kind of beef this thing out a little bit more, but that's not bad. That's really not bad. I can't do much with that, but I can. Oops. Width and height. Let's go ahead and put our grid position to that right there. Are you mad? Oh, and the parent. That's right. Oh, there we go. That's something else that we need. Let's get the parent. Let's go and do that. And we'll put it in there. All right. Nothing to see here. But in render, so we're not rendering a mesh, but I would like to have a thing here. Right? So this is supposed to be for... Let's kind of write what we want this to look like, I guess. Let's get rid of that. We don't need that anymore. Let's get this, though. So I'm gonna get 2 of these. I'm gonna get 2 sprites. I'm gonna get A and B. Right, and I'm gonna go ahead and do A equal, or yeah. A equals block make sprite. Right? Or no, it's create sprite. Create sprite. And we're not going to render that per se. So, like, we could give this completely garbage numbers right here. Yeah, maybe. Okay, so perhaps I'll create a subclass of sprite sheet where it just takes like an image and then like how to divide it, because we're not planning on like actually rendering this, so there's no need to have like all of this here. I don't know, I'll think about it. Create sprite. So this one will be at 100. And what do we want? Let's make the first one the purple one, because the purple one's cool. So that's 1. Right, and then B is going to be block, create sprite. We're going to put this one at 300, 200. It's going to be 100 by 100 again. And this will be the red one. Let's just go 0, 0. All right, and then I want A to render, and I want B to render. And I'm going to go ahead and just include the sprite as well so that we have it. Right, so then these are going to render instead, which will signal to the sprite sheet. So really, if we're not planning on rendering the actual sprite sheet, we could honestly like just not care about this push stuff right here. We just kind of like get rid of that. Get rid of that. Receive sprite state. Okay, so now we need a thing to like render sub sprite probably is a good way of putting that. So I need this still. Everything is publicly accessible, isn't it, in the quad? We can get the X and Y, we can get the angle, which is kind of everything we need. We can get the color, I think. Can we not get the color? I never provided that. Is this stored? Normalized, it is. I'll get to that later. I'll get to the color later. We just want position and angle right now, which is publicly accessible. So we really only need the sprite. Right, render subsprite that. Give it myself. And then in the sprite sheet implementation, right, where is that? It's under the get active cycle name. All right, let's just come in here. We're gonna return make ref x, y, width, height, grid position. We also need to give it a reference to ourselves. And then we're good. What do you mean incomplete type? It's a complete type. I have the constructor. That's it. What are you mad about? Here, what is this? This is better. Is it because ref doesn't have the constructor? Let me move that. Let me move these into like a public. I mean, that. Oh, wait. It's because the render wasn't public, I bet. I bet it's because render wasn't public. I couldn't find it. Go. Ah. It was probably that. No, okay. All right. Well, let me figure out what it's mad about. Here, let me get my... I feel like I can't read it in the IDE. I can only read it like here. What does it need? Oh, I'm super dumb for that. It just actually needs me to include it in here. What? Are you kidding? Oh, it's because the destructor is private. Is that what it is? Can I move this and be fine? Can I move this and be fine, please? Does it really actually need the constructor? That's so dumb. All right. Oh well. What do I know? I'm a crappy C++ programmer, so. All right. Well, that works. Okay, let me actually make this work now. Hello. Okay. So I've got to do like a freaking... Oh, let me... It's a friend class though, so I can just grab it. So set grid position to the sprite grid position. Set position to the sprites X and Y. Watch it like not really appear, because it's like, well, it'll appear. It's gonna render it at the wrong spot though, because I bet I have to do the plus the weird widthy thing, which is so stupid. Except no. Except for it won't, because this comes from the textured quad, which does that, I think. Right, and then I can just render myself at the screen. Okay, because none of these are relative. These are setting absolute values. Which is exactly what I needed, because that's why it wasn't working before. And so maybe... Did I build that already? Yeah. So maybe now, when I rotate, I have no way of... Oh... Bro, come on. Come on. There's gonna be like virtually no way for me to debug this either. Unless it's something stupid. Because I'm calling that... I can't even believe it. I can't even believe it. Let's see. Has this been playing music too, by the way? Or no, I muted desktop audio. Okay. All right. What is not happy right now? Because you'd think that... All right. All right. You have forced my hand. I must now use print debugging to figure this crap out. Somebody say in the chat if they know what's wrong. Because I have a feeling this is going to take me a little bit, which I'm not happy about. Alright, first let me just get the sprite. Right, let me get the address of that so I'm aware of what I'm seeing. Let me get the position. No. I think I know. I need to figure this out. I need to figure out a good way of doing this. It kind of defeats the whole purpose. There you go. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Because I can't set... It's getting the wrong thing. Because I can't set the... Wait. One of the problems I was having was that it would only rotate... I want to make sure... It would rotate both of them, but I want to make sure it only rotates one. Perfect. Okay. So, yeah. Awesome. That a little bit defeats the purpose, unless everything is going to be the same size, which I guess is okay. That's hackable for sure. Should have like little animations that work together. Cause, man. Cause, okay, alright. Let me see what I can do about that, because that's like a whole mesh thing. Actually, let me go back into the sprite sheet and get rid of that. So, oh man, it's not even... I would have to do that twice, really. I guess the only place it really matters is the textured quad. So let's look at this real quick. This is where we set up our width and height of our object. So you'll remember over here, I was talking all this mess and it probably didn't make any sense. But the only place that we're setting our width is here. And I would have to go and like redo the buffer. I would have to like completely recreate the buffer. Oh, excuse me. Because it sets the size, but then it doesn't care. Like, it doesn't actually ever use that even. And that's why I don't even have accessors for it. So, if I wanted to, like, set the size, I would, I would have to, like, do this calculation again. Which is fine. I can do that. That, you know, that cares about like the mesh and everything, and me go to the mesh and see what I can do. Yeah, this is the OpenGL code. Really sick. This is where all the magic happens. So this is where I'm setting. You keep skipping forward like it's a video. Am I talking too much? Do I need to move faster? This is where I'm setting it. And I'd basically, I think I can sit. I need to look it up now. What's the one? Yeah. Buffer subdata. Here we go. All right. So updates a subset of the buffer's object data store. So okay. So GL buffer data, I believe, allocates and puts the data in, but I think buffer subdata doesn't reallocate it. It just like updates it. So that would be what I would want. So what can I do here? Can I do a... I would just need like an update. Like I would just need an update buffer thing. So let me just do that. And what is this? That's the UV coordinates right there. What does basic quad do? Does that just set it to 0? Okay. So, okay. I need to have like an update thing. Update. Like update buffer data. Right. Let's just do that real quick. That's between, it's under set rotation. So, alright, I'm a little rusty on OpenGL. I haven't really done anything with this in a while. So I think I can just do bind vertex array. There's the VAO. And then bind the buffer. The VBO. And then subdata. And what does this take? Subdata target, offset, size, and data. Well, the offset should be 0. The size was up here, and I'm just gonna steal it. Do I save that? Vertex count? Then we can unbind those. Okay. So we can set new information to send down the line. Let me also get rid of these because I guess I don't actually need those. Okay, so what do I need to do? In the quad, if I want to set size, we're gonna have to override this too. All right, let's put that down there. We're gonna have to like completely redo the thing, which is okay. Right, but what we can do is we can set the thing. We can set the thing. We can set the size vector in here. We should probably have a one of those. Excuse me? Okay, we're good. Cool. All right. So we can do that, which is good. Why? There we go. So, a couple of things. One, in basic quad, we gotta do this in basic quad, and we gotta do this in friggin' textured quad. Set size, float width, float height. Set size, vector 2f. Right. So let's test this on a basic quad in our test. All right, let's just get a... We just need like a test thing here. Let's just throw this over like 500, 500. How about? And make him a 100 by 100. That's good. He can be whatever color he wants to be. And then if window key once key space, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the size 200, 200, and we're going to see how that goes. Right, so we have these. We have to override them here. Right, so that's good. Can I just call set? Can I just call my own one? Let's do that because I don't want to do that every time. Okay. So we're gonna have. So we just set our size. So we need our OX, which is our offset X, and we can check this over here because we did it right here. To the width, let's do this, divided by 2, and the offset Y to height divided by 2. And then we have a data buffer of negative OXOY, and so we can kind of look at that in the diagram as well, actually, where we can have like, this would be negative X, negative OX, negative OY, OX, negative OY, you know, so on and so forth. But I actually don't remember the order in which these are supposed to go. I'll go in and fill in the UV coordinates in just a second. That's okay. Okay, and then we don't care about those. So this is our new buffer, and then what we can do is we can just do update buffer data, and send that in. And we'll go ahead and copy that over. We're gonna build that real quick. See if the compiler likes us, which it does. Go ahead and make this real quick. Oh, because I'm so dumb and I keep forgetting that it's not actually quad. It is now basic quad. And I forgot to render him. Come here, you little stinker. Hello. Oh, yes, look at that. He expanded from the center and everything. That was beautiful. All right. And if we wanted him to expand not from the center, we could also translate him by like half of that, right? Let's do that again. That was fun. Let's do that again. Nope. Oh, that's not good. Hold on. That's not good at all. Shouldn't have gone that far. Come on. Where's my set position? My translate. Did I do set position or translate? Translate. What is width? Okay. It's correct. Is it like... Oh, maybe it's half the growth. Wait. No, translate 100 should do it. That should keep it, and it's not. Oh, great. This is why we do the test. All right. He's gonna jump. Watch him jump. Whoa. Watch him jump after we change the size. Oh, man. We didn't even change the size yet. Hold up. Wait. I didn't even do it yet. Why is he freaking out? Dude, come on, dude. Did I miss something? Do I like not actually even need to do any of this right here? There's a chance I don't even have to do any of that. Okay. Well, hello. Oh, come back. He's gone. Oh my gosh. Okay, no, I do need that. Why do I need that for this one, but not for the other one? What am I... I'm not even doing anything differently. Am I? that color is just like there. Great. What did I do differently? I literally like copy and pasted everything. I knew I shouldn't have touched any of this stuff. I should have just left it. Who needs batch rendering? Gosh, what a stupid decision. What a completely idiotic decision. Oh, did I not? Wait. It doesn't matter what I press. Maybe that should be my hint. Maybe my translate is broken. Okay, so I think I forgot to build that again, so that wasn't working. That was working, but all right, what do we got? Okay, 500 500, which that is correct, right? That is where I want to be. This is like that's like basically it. It's not. It's basically it though, right? Cuz that's 100 100, that's like 302, and it's like not lined up, which should be my first hint. If I barely tap my D key, it is like translating in both directions, which it should not do. So wait, what was the difference between Stop doing things. Okay. Wait a second. Am I getting punked? That's working. Why is quad broken? Basic quad. Hello. I'm so confused. I don't understand. And I know I'm missing something. 'Cause there's no way. Because I'm calling the translate function, which is taking this. And also, it's not even different. Like, it's exactly the same. Ooh. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. I put it in the wrong place. I'm such a geed. See, that'll do it. That'll do it. Okay. Oh my goodness, dude. Oh. Okay. All right. So, all right. Okay, he works. Okay, that works. Okay, let me see if that's actually too much, because I don't think it is. Now it's actually working. I can test to see if it... Okay, that was too much. Is it just 50? Is it just like half of however much it grew by? Oh, it's like... Wait. The X is still right, and I would imagine the Y is still right. Oh wait, no, it's because it's translating me. Wait. Okay. All right. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care enough to keep trying to figure that out. All right. Okay. Let me just kind of steal this a little bit for the set size, textured quad, and then we can be done. My gosh. I'm glad I freaking caught that though. I'm glad I was able to find a problem. Jonah, couldn't you just copy and paste it? I could, but I won't. And you can't make me. Ah. So which one did I do here? Did I just decide that it was going to be the one with... That's even the wrong one. I remember. This one I said I was going to set the size with size X, size Y. And then this was going to have all the stuff I cared about. Except now my UV coords matter. And I gotta like find it on the internet. Okay. Can this just... Okay, 0, 0. Does it just follow? I think it just follows the thing. Yeah. Alright. Okay, so set size works. Can I wonder, not have to all have the same gosh darned... Nope, that's sprite dot size width sprite height. All right, so let's see if I can get that working the way I wanted it to. I don't want to have to give this an initial width and height. Let's see if it works. Let's get rid of this test block as well because we don't need it. Stop giving me suggestions that I don't need. Okay. That's going to complain about that. That's going to complain about that. All right. Come on. Oh my gosh, dude. Come on. Come on. I bet the problem is that. I bet I need to set that first. I'm gonna set the grid position last and see if that fixes it. If not, I'm just gonna give up for tonight because I have nothing left in me. Please be the yes, dude. I'm ecstatic. Oh yeah. And my position is right. Oh man. I'm so excited. Okay, so this is like, I think it's kind of batch rendering. It's not like really. I think batch rendering is a little more like you only really do like one render call and then it renders a whole bunch of stuff. I'm still technically like calling the renderer, but the nice thing is that I'm only keeping track of one set of buffers and then just really actually most of the time just most of the time not even really. I mean, I guess we're kind of calling sub data every time now, but like really just like mutating like the transform vector and then just throwing that in the shader, which is really nice. So this should be technically like this should take like less memory, even though it like really it comparatively doesn't really matter, but you could have like a ton of these really and it should use a lot less memory on your GPU because you only have like one buffer and one texture to really worry about, but I'm kind of doing I'm doing two, so it's two birds with one stone. Hello Redx, you have some video suggestions. Please tell me. I'm about to actually get off stream, so if you just showed up, I'm very sorry. You can watch the video once it's done, but before I go, if you're still here, I would like to hear some of the suggestions. While you're sending those, I wanted to say that I'm going to do kind of a similar thing like to this here, where I want to work on a real programming language and use like LLVM and stuff and compile it to like actual machine code. I really want to do that. That really interests me, but I don't necessarily like, it won't be like a tutorial because I don't actually know what I'm doing. Is my webcam like super bad? Maybe. Okay. It's going to be me like kind of figuring it out and you guys can be kind of like along for the ride and then hopefully learn with me. LLVM is too complicated and has like no documentation. So it would be very difficult for me to work on a tutorial for something like that because it would already be requiring so much effort from myself than to have to like do it again in a video. I'd rather like do that all in one thing. So that's something I want to work on. I thought about doing like OS stuff and I was working on some of that. I'm not smart enough yet to correctly work on anything like that, but I'm pretty happy with this. I'm pretty happy. I will be again, I said this last stream, I will be streaming Ludum Dare next weekend. That's what all this is for. This is all in preparation for that. So I'm actually pretty stoked that I got that working. And I might take advantage of this in a game. Because it would be really nice if I had kind of like this thing going on over here where like all of my textures are just on one picture, like on one image, and then I just have all my different textures like in this sort of dealio right here. So then I only have one texture, and then I only have like one buffer, but then I'm like creating a bunch of different things from this and things like that. You can start on a new language or just continue where you left staple. So I will be starting a new language that I don't really mind if I call it staple or not, because staple is old and I haven't done anything with it in over a year. And where I was going with staple would be like a completely different direction. Like where I would want to go now is completely different from where staple already is. So I would be starting over with something. But yeah, so that was kind of the idea, was like maybe I would just stream me trying to figure things out, and then you guys can figure it out with me and like try to incorporate some of what you would be learning with me into your own programming languages, perhaps. Yeah, something like that. And I like the stream setting because I can just kind of like do things. I'm really bad at tutorials, I think. I'm really bad at like trying to teach people. I'm just not good at like bringing things down or like explaining things, because I know how it makes sense in my head, and that's not always how it makes sense to other people. So I'm not really great at teaching. And I would like to get better at that, and so maybe I'll still try to do like some more basic tutorials, but things that I'm like learning how to do, it's harder for me to do that. So it'll be kind of like an Andreas Kling sort of thing, where like he just is kind of, he's not really doing a tutorial, he's just kind of like coding for like an hour or two, and you're just kind of like watching him. I kind of like that. So yeah, so I'll probably do them in like stream formats, and then like change the thumbnail and stuff later and try to put them into playlists and whatever. So yeah, I think that'll be a fun like direction to go. And I don't like have a schedule right now because my life is pretty busy. I'm really only doing this because of Ludum Dare, so hopefully I'll be able to keep up with stuff. And yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and get going. I'm gonna play Rocket League, and thank you to everybody who came out, and I hope that you learned something tonight. So I'll see you guys around.